Southland Meadows is a continuing care facility with around 140 beds, split between the long-term care, supportive living, and secure supportive living areas. After management made cuts to the non-union kitchen staff, healthcare aides were forced to take on serving and cleanup duties in the dining room, on top of their resident care work. They were expected to fill waters and juice and clear and wash dishes during mealtimes. This meant that residents were often unable to receive the care they needed while healthcare aides were busy bussing tables and loading dishwashers. This added workload had the knock-on effect of reducing the amount of time spent with residents, lowering the standard of care. While HCAs were busy washing, residents were sitting in soiled clothes, waiting for care. The staff decided they needed to make the employer see this problem for what it was: a crisis. A workload crisis for the HCAs and a care crisis for the residents. They put together a petition asking management to bring kitchen staff back on the dining room floors and free up the HCAs to care for the residents. A straightforward and common sense request. They picked a day that they knew management would be in the building, and around a dozen HCAs marched into the boss's office. They were determined and united, and the employer was immediately on the defensive, insisting that all but one spokesperson leave the room. The employer has a reputation of having an open-door policy for staff to discuss their concerns, but typically these issues are ignored. A dozen staff standing outside the glass-walled office made it hard to sweep this issue under the rug. They were united, and that kind of solidarity is hard to ignore. After a long discussion, the employer agreed to bring some kitchen staff back to the dining rooms to pour drinks and clear tables. They were not allowed to leave the floor during meal times. HCAs were still expected to help clear tables, but they no longer had to load dishwashers, and so more time could be spent caring for the residents. This was not a perfect solution for the HCAs at Southland Meadows, but progress was made because these workers stood together and fought back together. Winning the working conditions you deserve can take time and repeated attempts. Not every issue can wait to be resolved at the bargaining table. Direct actions like this can be an effective way to address problems on a work site outside of the collective bargaining. It can also build solidarity and trust within your chapter and worksite. Strong bonds are formed on picket lines or when marching on the boss. Every gain made on a worksite brings more and more support. It shows those who fear retribution from their employer that solidarity works, that workers have a voice, especially when they stand together.